Good morning, everyone. Coming to you from Montana, so nice and bright and early this morning with this great news. And that is that Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, the person they believe is responsible, the person that we've seen all these photos, this footage, he has been apprehended according to President Trump. He revealed that on Fox this morning. So the individual was identified apparently by a minister, and then his father, Charlie, or the shooter's father, actually made it possible for authorities to put the assassin in custody. So you can imagine the overnight work of agents. They had a lot to go on. Just a couple of takeaways that I wanted to touch on. First of all, this assassin wasn't worried about being caught. He wasn't covered head to toe like, say, in the Idaho 4, that murder. He covered himself head to toe. He had balaclava on his face. He made sure that he would have his identity concealed. That didn't happen here. In addition, not only not being gloved, having his arms open, and there's hair on the arm, so on and so forth, you can bet that the FBI was working hard with their partners on identifying a DNA match to something on that gun. I don't know if they ever achieved it. We will be finding out if DNA would be linked to that gun, fingerprints to that gun. We already know that there are identification, a footprint as well as an arm print and things like that. So they are going to have a lot to match up. Plus, those very clear pictures. When I say clear, when you can make out a logo, when you can make out the logo on the hat, when you can see, because of the angles, the Converse shoes, you can see his general face structure. You can tell what race he is. I mean, so often we get this horribly terrible footage, but they had a lot to go on. And we saw the footage yesterday. I posted that TMZ got the ring camera footage, so where we could see. By the way, a lot of people were speculating that a rifle was down his pant leg. I don't know. I put that night, because I'm here instructing Firearms, I put a rifle down my pant leg, my jean pant. And I tell you, I didn't walk at all like that. And I'm very small in stature. So I don't know, that's what it could have been. I found the whole gait that he showed very interesting, but we're going to find a lot of this information out. I think this is just great work by law enforcement to work as fast as they could. The biggest thing I just am so happy to see is the fact that the FBI very quickly released those photos, released 2 photos, then released the footage. I wish they would have released that ring cam footage, but we did get to see that from TMZ. But I think it was so critical for all of this to be released so that the public could help, because again, I don't know if he is found, certainly not this quickly, without the help of the public. And that is something new. I think we're really seeing in this age, where we're going to see fugitives found so much sooner. I was so worried that this individual would possibly get into a wooded area and become another, Rudolph, who was responsible for the Olympic Park bombing. I was actually at that 1996 Olympic event, and just unbelievable that it took over 5 years because he was good. He secreted himself in the woods, or like a Travis Stecker. We still don't know if he's alive or where he is. So I was always very worried about this happening, and no, they were able to quickly get him. But I do think, and I truly believe this, that this shooter didn't mind being caught, kind of like a Luigi Mangione. He has a message. We had it confirmed that indeed on the cartridges, and again, a cartridge is a bullet that is still in the casing. So essentially, the bullet is inside the casing, so it's a full round, we call them. There were apparently, I believe, 3 that were found. and those cartridges had uh, uh, fascism, some sort of a fascist message, and then a transgender type message on them. That has been confirmed. So we now, of course, everybody is going to be asking the question, why? Well, I always say underlying are two things: somebody who had the hate and the resolve to do this, but really the bigger factor was that person, whoever did this, and we're going to soon find out the name and so forth, that person's aspiration to be famous. That person's aspiration, I shouldn't say famous, but to be infamous, to be known, to make a point, to be out there, somebody that will always, for the end of time, be in the history books. That is really the underlying motive and last push that these individuals have. That is what they crave. And it's clear to me, as I said, he in other words, somebody who isn't going to become a serial killer, as an example, right? Because they want to stay out so they can keep doing their evil deeds. But this individual made a statement, did it in broad daylight. I want to also touch on the fact, to be clear, because this has been confusing to a lot of people, the security detail was a combined effort between local police and I believe 6 that were on scene. And this is directly from a press conference. 6 officers combined with Charlie Kirk's personal protective detail. So that's who was on scene. So it wasn't that there wasn't enough. This was open air, broad daylight, on a college campus. He was under a tent. The problem was not how many people were there, but what the people didn't do. And I'm going to be critical here, because just the one thing you have to do is you have to clear roofs. You just have to do it. It's not, it's not that important. We can look into it later. No, before a speaker speaks, you must have line of sight. And honestly, this wouldn't even taken anything fancy. You wouldn't even need a drone. What you need to have is the highest point, a security detail person, not even necessarily a sniper, but certainly, because I know it was a limited detail, this isn't like a presidential security detail. You would need to have somebody at the highest point on that campus so that they can see the rooftops, clear their rooftop, and then so they can see a rooftop. This guy did not move with any sort of stellar, ability from the standpoint he wasn't secreted inside. He didn't come through some hatch. He didn't enter and exit this way where he was sort of in and out. We saw him running across the roof line. They said he actually jumped from a building, another building to another building. He jumped off a building. And this was when it wasn't like a normal day. This is 3,000 plus people on campus. I mean, we saw the thousands of people, and no one was paying attention to the rooftops. I just want to touch on that. I'm not going to belabor it. I'm sure the people working that security detail feel absolutely horrible. They will always, for the rest of their lives, have guilt because they dropped the ball. It's just that simple. They dropped the ball in terms of doing this one simple thing. So we've touched on motive. We've touched on how he was caught. It's very breaking news. We're going to hear more, but literally Trump broke it on Fox this morning. And it's such great news. I just had to come live and let everybody know. I'm going to get out of this, got a couple of hits to do, and then off to shooting and self-defense training. So anyway, greetings from way out here in the basin. I'm 2.5 hours south in the very tippy corner of Montana and of Utah. And the ladies, and there are all ladies, these are individuals who have suffered sexual assault or domestic abuse, or are actually here, have paid apparently toward a charity to raise money for people that have had that happen to them. So I'm very excited, but they are all of them from Utah. So this is very heavy on the wave of everybody. Two of the ladies that I'm instructing, their kids were on campus watching Charlie Kirk when he was shot, two of them. I haven't talked in great deal to them or detail, but I can tell you it's really shaken up this. You can imagine these ladies with this horrible news that this happened in their state. It happened before two of their children, and so it has been, you can imagine, a huge point of discussion. So again, my prayers go out to the family of Charlie Kirk. My adulation to law enforcement, to the FBI leading this, and to all the partners, because it takes everybody, and to the father of the shooter for doing the right thing, to the minister who was also came forward recognizing this man. And I hope justice is served. They've said, just for those of you who don't know, they will be seeking the death penalty. So the death penalty is what they're going for. They're going to be building that strong case. I always say when you're conducting these fugitives investigations, you're really looking at long term as well. So you've got to preserve the evidence to have it so it can be used once you find the individual in a court of law. So for that reason, I know that they did everything completely by the book, and I'm looking forward to a strong, compelling prosecution. And obviously, I don't know who will be his defense attorney, but I just hope justice is served regarding this absolutely horrific tragedy. The bottom line is we cannot have our political figures, if you want to call him that. He certainly was a political voice on either side. This is so apolitical to me. This is you can't have your voices. You can't have them murdered, hunted down, and cold murdered. I wanted to talk about one more thing, though, with that shot. People are saying, oh, he meant the chest. No. When you're a sniper, and I was a sniper with the FBI on Houston's SWAT team before I became an assaulter, you are going to aim for this T-zone area. You're not aiming for the chest. You're not aiming for anything here. Remember, in this case, he was talking. He was seated. He had his arms up. He had a microphone. You are going for your best shot at the T-zone. There's windage and elevation that have to be kept into account in terms of your sighting. And the bullet dropped. And that's what bullets do. They rise and then they fall. And so he was a little bit off, but unfortunately, he still struck that neck area. And still, for those of you who have seen it, and I know a lot of people were upset that I posted it. I posted it, I think, because I wanted to see it. I wanted to see how many shots there were. I wanted to see what the angle was of the shot. For people who were talking online about, oh, he was way up here and he was under a tent, that it couldn't happen. That isn't what happens. Is with the further distance that you have from a target, the further you are away, that elevation flattens out, if you will, in terms of your line of sight. He was in the absolute perfect position. If I were on a security detail, you look and you say, okay, what's the perfect position for a sniper to take a shot? And you can rule out so many spots. That would be the primary spot. He knew it. He surveyed it. He knew how he was going to leave, but I can guarantee he didn't really care if he got caught. He was a person, and we're going to hear more about it probably, with a message. And sadly, tragically, sickeningly, Charlie Kirk had to pay the price for the issues of the shooter. This was nobody's fault other than that shooter's fault. Until next time, everybody, because I got to get rolling. Thank you for being here last minute. Till the next time, may justice be served.